Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Happy Heading Nowhere podcast, episode number 3. We're glad you joined us, we being me, and here on the lovely patio at the Happy Heading Nowhere headquarters. So we're on the back porch today. A little chilly today, a little overcast, a little chilly. So I thought I'd start a fire and let's do a fireside chat today. What do you think? So listen, I haven't talked to you guys since Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We sure did. We went to Vegas, had some fun, actually came back a little bit in the black. So that's always good. This time, but it was good, had good food. And as promised, I watched football with my eyes closed. Really enjoyed that. I went upstairs, told my wife I was just going to go upstairs and watch some football, and proceeded then to take a 1.5 hour nap, and the game was over when I was done. But otherwise, it was a great few days away. Now heading into Christmas, where it's getting a little crazy in the stores. If you haven't noticed, we try to avoid it as much as possible. I think we've got most of our shopping done, what we're going to do at least. But yeah, now we turn our attention to Christmas, the new year, and I'm turning my attention to the Overwintering series, which we're going to be talking about today. Going to talk about what that's going to entail a little bit, get you prepared for the next few weeks of overwintering. You may have seen me talk about it on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. And if you're not following Happy Heading Nowhere or myself on any of those channels, please do. I want to start out today by just talking for a few minutes about something that's kind of close to me, specifically the people in my network who heard just yesterday that they're probably going to lose their jobs or have some turnover or kind of change within their work environment. I've heard the rumblings and then saw the press release yesterday regarding the changes. I want to address, I think, the human side of this, the human side that may be caught up in this from an employee standpoint, from a management standpoint, to my executive leadership team that I used to work with. Everyone's affected by it. They're all affected by it. And nobody goes into business. Somebody goes into any commitment, any business engagement. Typically, no one goes in it with it hoping that it won't work out, right? Marriages, you don't start out that way. And business partnerships and business opportunities, you don't start out that way. But things change. Climates change. The economy changes. Maybe there's some mistakes made. Maybe there's some decisions that you look back on and go, maybe we should have done this. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. That is all for people that get paid more than I do to talk about. But what I would like to talk about is this human element that's left to work through this over the next few weeks and months. What is the right reaction? What is our responsibility to others? What is our responsibility to ourselves in times of uncertainty? A few weeks ago, I wrote a blog post about this called Facing Uncertain Times. You might want to hop over to the blog and read that, but I'll give you a little summary here. First off, you have to accept what you can control and let go of what you can't. That's the first step when you face an uncertain change or an uncertain moment in your life. Trust me, I've had plenty of uncertainty in my life, plenty of situations where I look back on and wish I had reacted differently. But this is the number one thing I would have done in each and every one of those situations is accept what I can control, let go of what I can't. It's a foundation of Stoicism. It's a foundation of Christianity. It's a foundation of Buddhism. It's a foundation of so many philosophies and religions. It's a basic of humanity that we must accept what we can control and let go of what we can't. We take responsibility for what we can do, and we don't worry about what we can't. We got to let that go. Turn the page. The second thing is you want to focus on your core values. You want to stay true to those. You don't want to change as a result of what's happening to you. You don't want to become a different person. I say you don't want to become what you hate, right? If you don't like people that gossip or people that put down others or people that get angry or people that have hate, whatever that may be, right? It's easy at times of uncertainty to become that person that you wouldn't expect in normal times you would be. So focus on your core values. And what are some of those? Courage, wisdom, kindness, gentleness, having faith and hope. Those basic core values that you have should even come more to the forefront right now at this time of uncertainty. The next thing I would think is put everything in perspective. understand that change is a part of everything. And when you realize that change is a part of everything, it kind of puts everything in perspective. You can step back at a 30,000-foot level maybe, and maybe you need to gain perspective to see kind of where you are at this moment. I think it's so often, myself included many times, you get spun up, you get spun up, and you have a real myopic view about how everything's impacting me, how everything's affecting me, how everything's, me, right? Take a moment, think about your perspective and how it could change if you took a step back and looked at it as an observer, looked at the situation in front of you as someone outside the situation. And that will help you craft your next steps. And then finally, I would really suggest that while you have this broader perspective, you're not worried about the future, you're not thinking about the past, dwelling on it. You want to stay in the present moment. You want to know the situation right now as it is. You, as I said earlier, cannot change what happened leading up to this moment. You can change this moment. It's the only moment you have control over. Right now, what you do right now. So living in that present moment can put things in that perspective, can help you identify your core values, and can help you to accept those things you can control. This present moment is a foundation for all these other things I was talking about. Accepting what you can't control, establishing and maintaining your core values, and keeping that unique perspective on the things that are unchanging around you. The sun will come up tomorrow. It'll be okay. What's the end result? Nothing. It feels like a failure, right? It's this big challenge that's in front of us, this big obstacle of how are we going to get through this now? How are we going to get past this moment? It just seems like there's no jobs out there. It seems very challenging. The climate's very hard. Let me just tell you, the Stoics say this: the impediment to action advances action. Ryan Holiday wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way. I gave it to my whole team a couple of years ago for Christmas. And it's that idea that whatever stands in our way can become the way. This fire is an example of that. Whatever I put into this fire, will be consumed, right? It'll be consumed in a matter of minutes. And so what I put into the fire actually becomes the fuel for the fire, right? And so we should think about that. What's happening right now in each life that's being affected by layoffs or changes or disruption, whatever that could be, that can fuel you for the next chapter. I know it did me. I got laid off, and that fueled me. That fueled me to start doing this. That fueled me to start caring about myself more. That fueled me to not be afraid of the future, but to lean into it and say, what have I always wanted to do? I'm going to go do that. So switching gears a little bit and leading into this Overwintering series, I see this current moment as an opportunity for those of you who are going through change, for those of you that are going through challenges, for those of you that are going through doubt and uncertainty. I see this as an opportunity right now, this year, as we wind it down, to take an opportunity to look inward, to take an opportunity to, as I talked about the other day, overwinter. We prune everything back so it'll come back better. We amend the soil. We kind of lay the foundation for the spring. That's a good thing to do in our own lives. Let's use this time. And over the next 3 or 4 weeks, I want to talk about that on the blog and here on the podcast. What does it mean to overwinter? And so I give you a gentle challenge today to put the tools together for yourself. What gives you peace and calm? Lean into that this season. Is it a good playlist that you have? Is it a book you want to read? Is it to start journaling? Maybe you've stopped journaling. Maybe it's just doing puzzles or crafts, something that gives you peace and calm. Find a space that's comfortable. Find a space that's a place that's just your own, that you can go to and have quiet. I do know a lot of you have kids, right? You're not like old like me. A lot of you have young kids. I know that's tough, right? But you've got to find that space. You've got to create that space. And so however you can best do that in your life, young, old, wherever you are, kids, no kids, make time and make space. Time is important. You've got to make time. So it's having the right tools, it's having the right space, and it's having time. So whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes, whatever time you can spare. And I would say it needs to be quiet time. It's a time that you don't need to produce anything. So that leads into the last point, the mindset. The mindset that you bring to this time, the mindset that you bring to this space, the mindset that you bring to these tools is that I don't need to produce anything for anyone else other than myself. And you may go, well, I'll use my workout time for that. Nope. I would really say that this should be in addition to that. You do your workout and then you sit and meditate. You do your workout and you write in your journal. You write in your journal, then you do your workout. However it works out for you, this should be different than something else you're already doing. This should be a new thing that you do to create space, time, and bring that mindset of renewal, being refreshed, and being rested over the next few weeks, just to recharge our batteries for the next year. I want to leave you with a couple of quotes. These are all from Marcus Aurelius. It says, people try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains. You always wish that you could too, which is idiotic. You can get away from it anytime you like by going within. That's beautiful. You only have to go within to get away from it all. We think we have to travel on a vacation. We think we have to go somewhere exotic to get away from it all, but we don't. All we have to do is take some time to go inside, to create that space and time to be with ourselves, to get to know ourselves, to rest. And the end result, I think, is this quote. This is the goal for me. I want to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. I want to be that rock on the edge of the ocean down here in the Pacific that the waves keep crashing against, but it never moves. It never moves. That's what I want for me. I want for you to be like that rock, to be unmovable. When change happens, you're steady. When situations you weren't expect are thrown your way, you're calm. Maybe not initially, but you get there. It's doable. It's possible. It's within your reach if you'll just go within. To my friends who are going through this at this time, I'm sorry. It just sucks. To those of you out there that I don't know that are going through something, changes this time of year, brings up bad memories, whatever it is, I'm sorry. That sucks. But you control the response to it. You control how you get out it. You can move through it. I know you can. It's all up to you. You're in control. Hey, it's been good spending time with you. This thing hasn't caught on fire like I hoped. I'm going to stoke it a little bit, and I'll see you next week as we really dig down into overwintering. All right, let's stoke this thing. Take care. Have a good day.